A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media. Now, before I start this video, I just want to let everyone know that because we are in the month of October, all of my reviews are going to be horror-based. That is, horror-based novels, comic books. I'll be playing some horror-based board games if I get the time. So this is Plaguelands Media's salute to the month of October. And we're going to start with a book that I really didn't know anything about going into it, with the exception of the fact that on the back it says a combination of Misery and The Vegetarian. Now, Misery, we all know, is the Stephen King novel about the author that gets trapped after the car accident with the crazy woman. Fantastic film. The Vegetarian was a novel that came out in 2007 by the South Korean author Han Kang, and it kind of deals with this woman who has a dream, a very visceral dream that forces her to stop eating meat, and that kind of has consequences throughout her life with her friends and her family. The book I am talking about today is The Hole by Pyun Hye-Young, a South Korean author. This has been translated into English, of course. And while technically this isn't really a horror novel, it made me very uncomfortable to read. I would consider this a psychological horror novel. So let's just get right into the first Halloween episode of Oh, this book. Boy, oh boy. This book was a very, very uncomfortable read. Now, the plot of the book is actually quite simple. The main character, Ogi, is traveling with his wife for a weekend away when they have a car accident. His wife is killed. When he comes out of his coma, he discovers that he is a quadriplegic, to the extent where he gets very limited movement back in his left hand. He can move like one or two fingers of his left hand, and he basically communicates by blinking. His mother-in-law takes him back to his house that he and his wife shared, and we get the entire story through his perspective as he's remembering his life before the accident, and stories about his wife, stories about his in-laws. His father-in-law has passed away maybe 3 years earlier, and so his mother-in-law becomes his sole caregiver. And of course, she blames him for the accident after finding notes that his wife, her daughter, had written in the study. And we get the detailed journey of what led Ogi and his wife to that point before the car accident, and ultimately what happens to Ogi and his mother-in-law. This is an incredibly disturbing book. It's a book that after you read each chapter, it's one of those conflicting feelings. Do I just put it down and process, or do I keep going and find out what the fuck is going on? The character of Ogi reminded me very much of the character of Joe in Dalton Trumbo's Johnny Got His Gun, I believe, which was written in 1938, Dalton Trumbo's anti-war novel. For those of you that haven't read that, the main character is a soldier who is trapped in his own body. He is in an explosion during the war and loses his arms and his legs. Most of his face is missing. He can't talk, he can't see. and you're basically getting this idea that it's a man trapped in his own body. And in that novel, in Johnny Got His Gun, it's all about the futility of war. But this is all about one man's mistakes, basically, and how he kind of lives up to them or lives down to them, so to speak. The dichotomy between Ogi and his wife is very interesting. He is very successful. He's a professor of geology. His academic peers look down upon him because they feel as though he has scammed his way to the top. His wife, on the other hand, in Ogi's opinion, has never succeeded in anything in her life. And she fails at everything that she does. What is interesting about this book is there is no other character that is given a name. His wife is never given a name. His mother-in-law is never given a name. His closest friends are just given letter designations. We don't have a name for the doctor. We don't have a name for the therapist, which, when you start reading this, is odd. It's a very odd thing when characters aren't given names in novels. But as you read on, you get this sense of not only how selfish the character of Ogi is, but this idea of isolationism where we only are really sympathizing with one character, and that's the character with the name. And ultimately, should we be even sympathizing with him? As the revelations start to come out about he and his wife's relationship and his relationship with other people, even his mother-in-law's relationship with his wife, where we find out things like she's part Japanese, and that changes the way that Ogi sees her. We're still only getting one side of the story, and it's quite a heartbreaking and yet at the times psychologically disturbing story. It's the winner of the 2017 Shirley Jackson Award, so this has been recognized. I believe the author, I've never read any of her other work or any other work that has been translated by Sora Kim Russell. Incredibly talented, and I look forward to looking for more of this author's work to really see what kind of stuff comes out in the future. This really chilled me. I don't say that about a lot of horror novels. I don't say that about a lot of horror movies, but this made me feel uncomfortable. Even the last paragraph of this book, when I finished, I just had to kind of sit down and go, holy shit, that is fucking messed up. That's the way I'm going to describe this book. I'm going to describe it. It's just psychologically messed up. A fantastic read. Highly recommend it if you just want a book that's going to get under your skin. That's what this does. This really gets under your skin. That is The Hole by Pyun Hye-Young, or Hye-Young Pyun, a South Korean author. Highly recommend it. Fantastic novel. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button to be notified of other videos that come out. Go and check out our Kickstarter. There are 8 days left on Loki the Conqueror, the first comic that Plaguelands Media is kickstarting. A fantastic fantasy epic, or the beginnings, I should say, of a fantastic fantasy epic. But, you know, most importantly, stay safe, have a fantastic rest of your day, and go and read a fucking horror book, people.